Well, another day, another attack from Sweet Baby Inc. This time they decide to go after Asmongold. Well, you know, Asmongold, million sub channel, but who cares at this point? It was over Dragon's Dogma 2, and it's Chris Kindred once again spouting off his face. Let's take a look at this. Now, just subscribe to the channel. It makes things easier. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. Chris Kindred is one of the narrative designers for Sweet Baby Inc. Sweet Baby Inc. has been everywhere on YouTube, everywhere in the news right now, because they terrify game developers into changing the games to suit their needs, to suit an agenda, to suit a narrative over the idea of diversity. Well, games are already diverse, very much so. There's 3.3 billion people that play video games on this planet. We don't need this type of shoehorn BS in our video games. But Chris Kindred, once again, he is now under protected mode. He seems to come out of protected mode about once a day, makes a really bad tweet attacking somebody in the gaming industry, thinking it's going to propel them forward in this light. More articles to come out. You know, they're probably going to be smear pieces that are going to follow this, and articles are going to be written about it. Well, this needs to stop. These types of harassment campaigns, they're claiming they're the ones that are perpetuating this forward. It's absolutely pathetic at this point. What did he say at this point? Well, I took a screenshot of this before it went down because, you know, it was only a matter of time before he would go back and protect it and delete this post, which is what he has done. That's crazy. One of the people is an active participant in a harassment campaign. He's talking about Asmongold because Asmongold has been covering this topic. If you watched my video yesterday, I talked about how I'm getting kind of drowned out on all of this scenario because you have much bigger coverage from content creators that's where all the money's going anyway, so YouTube just pushes them forward. That's the problem with this platform sometimes. You might be a very small creator, you might have a lot of stuff that's going on here, but as a small creator, we don't get the reach like Asmongold does. So that's part of the issue here at the same time. Chris, going after Asmon, just wants to propel this and make this situation explode. Well, you know what, Chris? Here's the attention you deserve. Here's the attention you asked for. Everyone is chiming in and everyone is seeing what Sweet Baby Inc. has done to the gaming industry, and yourself included, what you're doing to gamers and the developers out there. I hope some developers start to stand up against Sweet Baby Inc. and these narrative design pushes, because it's absolutely pathetic at this point. Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out very soon. The game doesn't look half bad. There is some talk that it might be capped at 30 frames per second, which I don't like when AAA games or new games like this come out and they cap them at 30 frames per second. They should be 60 frames per second, because that 60 frames per second, then you don't deal with the lag that you get with a lot of these games. And this one in particular is like a third-person walk behind, explore, dungeon crawler style of sword and sorcery game. And so I have some interest in that game myself. To me, it looks pretty decent, but that little bit of capping it kind of sucks. I don't think, I think when these game developers are capping these things, they're trying to hide the actual problems that's going on with these games, and there's a lot more behind that scenario, which I can get into another video. Today, we're talking about Sweet Baby Inc. and how they're absolutely pathetic in their attempts for attention. Anyway, I had retweeted Chris's tweet here, asking community notes to step in, and sure enough, lo and behold, here we go. The harassment campaign was begun by Chris Kindred when they targeted a Steam curator that wasn't breaking any rules and encouraged followers to report them. Then Chris called people Nazis with no evidence of such. And there is an article that has been written over at the Park Place. The Park Place has been covering a lot of this stuff. They actually have everything documented very well on what is actually going on in this situation. Anyway, Dragon's Dogma looks pretty good, but this has gotten to the point where now people are chiming in. You got whoever this is, having failed to get a Brazilian guy banned from Steam to make him lose his Steam library. Sweet Baby Inc. Chris Kindred is now trying to get Capcom to remove Asmongold from him, and Elon responding here. Sweet Baby Inc. is an evil blight on the gaming industry. All they can do is make terrible games and try to cancel people. They cannot go broke soon enough. Well, Elon, maybe you can help us out here a little bit. Of course, this was still responding to Still Gray, which is Ian Miles Chong, which that's a whole new can of worms. We're not going to go there right now. But Elon, you want to help us out, help us gamers out, and you need to. I don't know where you go with this, Elon. They're never going to go broke. That's the problem in this situation. They have weeded themselves so far deep into the government pocket and the milk money that they get from the government and taxpayers' money at this point. How does this end? Where does it go? $300,000, it seems, from Canadian revenues, $700,000 from the American coffers. They have money coming at them from all sides, multiple countries at this point. They're not going anywhere, and this is going to perpetuate to something more. Unless somebody can step in and maybe sue them or bring them down a few pegs, I don't see this ending, because the governments are the ones that are doing this. How do we affect this? Well, I think we need to start writing our MPs or MLAs, your senators. You need to start sending out emails and start saying, listen, this is going on. They need to have their funding cut from the government entities, because as a taxpayer, I don't approve of this. I don't think the tax money is being put properly to a situation that's just creating more chaos and harm to the gaming industry. Now, to touch on this a little bit more, who do we go to? We need someone from media at this point to step in, someone that's going to be recognized in like the Canadian and the American courts or their governments that are going to recognize them from covering the situation. And that's what it's going to take. But right now, the media is running interference here. We've seen this with the Take This article, with the Homeland Security backed articles at this point. We know there's much more behind all of this, and it's absolutely pathetic how we can do it. All we can do here on YouTube right now is talk about this situation and keep shining the sunlight and hope somebody picks up the story. But right now, Elon, you've got the money, you've got the resources, you got the power. Maybe you can step in, because you are watching very closely what's going on here. Twitter, or X at this point, yeah, they're trying to put out the arbiters of truth, but it only works if somebody can step forward and take what we see right now and do something more with it. Anyway, subscribe, share this video out, send this to your local MLAs or something like that, because this absolute pathetic excuse for a company right now is tearing down the gaming industry, and it needs to stop. We need to be able to go back to a normal gaming industry where gamers and players get along and just lose themselves into the game instead of watching this completely crumble around us. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great day. I've been your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow.